Hello again and welcome back. Okay, so it might have been a while since I made a video already, and I'm gonna and I got $400 to put into the brick. Okay, and for those of you who do not know what the brick is a container made by a company called Gorilla Pro Customs in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is a $10,000 heavy brick. And basically, it's a container that has four bolts that open up and allows me to put $10,000 worth of $100 bills in it. And this is interesting because this is the first time I've seen this played out in my own world. I've been listening to a guy online. His name was Dr. Let's see, hold on a minute here. I got it right here. I want to get it right because last time I said it wrong. Dr. D. Martini. Dr. D. Martini. Dr. John D. Martini. And he does videos. He's had a book by Nightingale Conant, which I was listening to Nightingale Conant way back when with Earl Nightingale and those guys and Jim Rohn and those guys. And I kind of got into listening to Dr. D. Martini. And he talks about the concept of the right to risk. Now, I kind of did cart before the horse. I achieved my what I would gauge as a entry level portfolio, where Charlie Munger always says that the first 100 grand is the hardest. And none of what I say is financial advice or is to be construed as financial advice. I don't suggest anybody do what I do, certainly, but Charlie Munger always said the hardest to acquire for any regular person is the first $100,000. And I have managed to build a $100,000 portfolio. And that's just the beginning for me. And it's comes time to me to keep, working at it. I can't go pop the bottles yet. I'm not partying yet, guys. I can't. It's just the start. And with inflation being what it is, I'm finding it's getting hard out there. But anyway, so here's an example of where the first $10,000, I was wondering why it was so much money for brokerages to take people, why it was so hard for brokerages to take people's money. And the first $10,000 I found out later is a lot of times it's 10,000. I even know one place it was 60,000. Some places were 2 or 3,000. Vanguard, I think, still has about, I don't want to quote them, but it costed me quite a bit to get into VTSAX. I had to pony up some money to be into that. I just couldn't start buying it. I had to put some money down on it. But I couldn't figure out why that was. And the concept is that it's people, they want a buffer so people aren't pulling money out the first second they need it. And so what he explained, it was called the right to risk. In other words, the person's ponied up that cushion. Now they have a little bit to fall back on if something happens. And now they're able to go out and build wealth. And like David Ramsey has the emergency fund. I don't know what he would necessarily stipulate would be emergency fund. A lot of financial guys on YouTube talk about the emergency fund. And so I'm kind of going cart before the horse here. I'm going to be doing 10,000 in the brick and I'm going to be doing 20 and 10,000 in the bank. And the concept is that I could bleed through the bank savings first, but if anything were to happen, I would have the money in the brick that I could fall back on without having to order cash. But the brick is mainly a mystical reason for me, and that is the $10,000 is me buying my right to risk. It's a symbolic gesture more than it is actually the money. Okay, if that makes sense. It's like the John Goodman excerpt from The Gambler. It's that FU money I got to fall back on. If I ever have to say FU to somebody, I know I got something to fall back on. It's more mental. It's more mystical. It's more kind of like the universe sees what I've done with money and what a steward I am of the money. And even though I'm not necessarily giving this money a job and deploying it into the coffers to work for me, I am showing that I can keep it. Now here's an example also when they talk about where they say that a lot of other videos on YouTube have said that $10,000 is the first step, because a lot of times it triggers a mindset, and it trains people to save. Saving money being sort of like a muscle. A person can't go into the gym and work out super heavy the first day. They're going to be all tore up and sore the next day. They won't be able to barely walk if they're doing legs or arms or do anything. And it's counterproductive, because they're less likely to go back. As to where if they have some small successes and things like that, they're more likely to go back because they're in a lot less pain. That being said, the whole point behind saving, it's more of a habitual. It's a habitual thing. It has to be worked up to it. A person just doesn't. I mean, some people have a good job and shove a bunch of cash back and forget about it, but most people have to kind of work at it and train themselves. They have to look at something and goes, well, I don't need to buy that today. I need to put that off because I'm saving my first 10,000, or I'm saving my first 100,000, or I'm going to wait a $250,000, or whatever they're up to. Me, here's an example. I took a trip down south and I needed the money, so I raided the piggy bank. I already broke open the piggy bank after the first fill, and it's actually about a couple days now before Christmas, so I'm kind of timing the thing here where I'm not really looking into some expensive gifts, because I might have a few hundred in my bank kicking in on Monday. I'm going to have this in the brick, and I'm kind of wishing now I had a full $1,000 for gifts, but I have to make this sacrifice. So instead of giving the $300, now I got to give. I was going to give $500, but that would cut me short for the holidays. I didn't want to be undercutting my bank account, so I went ahead and I hit $400. Then I'll owe $400 next pay period. Then I'll be back to whether I want to pay $300 and keep going $300 consistent all the way through January and February. So there's that. But anyways, to make a long story short, I'm going to open this brick up here. It has 4 bolts, and it just has 4 bolts that open up. I really enjoy this thing, and part of why I also do this too, it shows it's reverencing the effort. This is time and energy I put into this to earn this money. I'm not some SEO guru that has automated systems that make money while I sleep yet. I do understand that the dividends come in and be paid, but right now this is money I earn. This is money that has energy attached to it. My energy is attached to this money. It's my time and energy. So I open up the brick. Inside there is a carved inscription that says 10K. And I go ahead and I have the 2 deals here. So I take the money and I go ahead and put this in. There's the $400. So if you notice something, the brick's empty. I took the money out of the brick from the last fill. So I go ahead now and I put my money back, only contributing 100. So next week this is 300 for this week. I had 300 in. So there's $400 in this thing. And now what's going to happen is that next week it'll be 300, so it'll be another 400. And then yeah, because last week should have been 300. This is only 100. So actually next week it'll be 500. It'll be 500, and I'll be kind of caught up on contributions. And so I'll have my first $500 in it. But that just shows an example of where the trip was more important, and I needed the money, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't stuck in town with a hotel issue or nothing. And that just shows the importance in my inability to sacrifice that trip for this financial accumulation. It just shows that I didn't have enough discipline to retain that money, and I gotta owe the piggy bank. And so anyway, that's the 400 that's going into the brick. And I close this up. And I don't really do these too heavy because it's not the final sealing of the brick. And there we go. So there's the brick. It has the $400 in it. That's the Gorilla Pro Customs brick. There's rubber grommets under here to kind of protect any surfaces. And yeah, that's the brick, guys. And so I'm gonna see you on the next pay period, hopefully, and I will be doing a another load of the brick. I think I will owe approximately $500, and so that'll be 900. I might just kick another 100 in and make it the first 1,000. That'd be wonderful. It'd be 10% of the way there. So see you on the next brick fill, and hopefully I get some more content on this channel between then. And have a good one. Have a good day, and Merry Christmas.